Hey kids, it is Mark Miller here. Welcome everybody. Roy's with us as well. Roy?
Yep, I am here indeed.
Fred's with us.
Team is ready.
Team is ready. Go team. We're go team today.
Woohoo.
Go team. Yeah, let me just tweak in volume a little bit. All right. Last time you saw us, things were not great. Do you remember that, Roy?
I have vague memories of us attempting to hack materials and shaders onto a sphere.
And were we successful?
We would not what you would specify as a complete degree of success, no.
I would call it pretty close to a complete degree of failure, as a matter of fact. And
That is one way of putting it, yes.
And we applied, something that works for us a lot, really the whole show. Not only the whole show, but shows 1, 2, and 3 of last week, or whatever you want to call them. 460 something, and 460 something, and 460 something.
Yeah.
I've gotten everywhere I am, thanks to brute force and ignorance.
It's done okay up until this point then.
It's really worked out. Last week it did not.
No.
However, it's still Bachelor Week here at the Miller Manicotti House.
Okay.
It is, and with no matriarch to be watching my every move, I slid up against the computer, and well, that sounds wrong. I sat down at my computer. And I proceeded to try to learn and understand the problem.
Okay.
And I had one breakthrough and a little bit of understanding.
Excellent.
Part of the problem was so here's the deal: the multi-mod, software that we were using wasn't working. I put an issue out there. It hadn't been updated in 2 years. And the guy says, go look at this other product instead of mine. I looked at the other product, and it also hadn't been updated in 2 years.
Right.
And I was like, okay. So I applied, more brute force to the problem. And I started exploring and understanding what was going on. And I learned about BepInEx. And one of the things I learned about BepInEx is how to bring the debug log up.
Oh, okay. That's got to be useful.
Which was a little mini breakthrough in its own. So yeah. I bring that up, and I start exploring, and I start realizing that there's one core piece of multi-mod that's failing. And it's what multi-mod is doing when it generates and exports for you. It essentially exports a prefab that is inside some export settings, and it's the name of a prefab to just launch, to start up.
Okay.
And that was coming in null every time, and I still don't know why. But ultimately, I got to a point where I was like, you know what? I don't care why. I don't need to know why. I know the names of the prefabs. I'm going to manually load them, and when I did that, they loaded.
Ooh.
And on top of that, when I drew them, they loaded as they drew.
Yeah.
And okay, step 2 though.
That's a lot of success there so far.
It's not bad. Well, there's also success in information and understanding, and I learned a little bit more about shaders, and I learned a little bit more about something called the rendering pipeline. And apparently there are multiple rendering pipelines, and apparently something built in one rendering pipeline will not show up in another rendering pipeline. I think I need to confirm that.
Okay.
But they're incompatible.
So you've got to get a hold of the right rendering pipeline if you're going to put your own stuff in it.
The downside is that TaleSpire uses the standard pipeline, which is essentially the no pipeline. Not doing a pipeline at all.
Oh, okay.
And all the cool new visual effects features that are awesome for creating spell kinds of effects are all in the newer pipelines.
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm a little bit like, ugh. Also, remember the magic missile that was built in that we were firing off?
Yeah.
That was pink. The reason I couldn't change the color, I'm pretty sure now, is because the shaders were essentially broken for it, and it shows pink when the shader's broken. The shader was broken probably because it was built using the advanced pipeline, but then put into TaleSpire, which uses the old one, shipped because it's not something that's exposed. It's just.
So is this something where, they've not decided to use this pipeline, but because early access, they still might change across. They might discover that it's useful for their own purposes.
Well, I think they know.
Migrate.
I think they probably have an understanding that it's useful. I think they also have an apprehension of, look, changing the pipeline over is a big deal.
Yeah.
It can break everything. It can break things without showing you that it's broken. So it can break shaders, for example, and now things can look different. So you have to be. It's a big effort, I think, in from what I understand, and I'm imagining in their eyes, it's the same. So last night, I was like, with the breakthrough, I was like, let's see if I can download other assets and start setting them off inside of TaleSpire. And I did that, and that was successful as well. And I had crazy over-the-top spell effects with meteors coming down and blowing stuff up. It looked hilarious on the mini board, right, with the minis.
Yeah.
I was loving it. But I didn't like two things about it. One is I really didn't like the organization of my project. I wasn't liking what it was turning into. And I didn't like my compile times, my build times. The build times were really long to pack all the assets. This is using the multi-mod tool. So I went to bed at 12. Went to sleep. I started dreaming, and I said, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create multiple projects, multiple Unity projects for each collection of assets. So if I want to try out a new asset pack, I'll create a new project just for that, pop them in there and see if they work. The cool thing about it is that the code I've written to trigger the assets is the same no matter what asset pack it's in. It should work across the board. So I kind of want to test that today. Sweet, peaceful coding dreams, and then in my dream, the dog is barking at me saying, "You've left me outside. You've left me outside, Mark. Mark, it's time for you to wake up. I'm still outside because I didn't come when you called me. I'm the same dog that tried to drown you. I'm now outside waking you up at 4 a.m. So I wake up and it wasn't a dream. It was a dog, and I got the dog in, and have been awake since, trying to sleep.
Which means that you are somewhat lacking in rest.
Yeah. So I'm lacking rest, but I'm also lacking my usual optimism. So I'm like,
Well, that's okay. We can make up for that because, even the most cursory examination of what you say you've been doing suggests quite a bit of success. There's a lot of positivity. We were right up against a wall, smashing our head against it, doing nothing but drawing blood, right, at one point. And you've got assets into the system. You're actually rendering things. Was there any modicum of transparency in these assets?
Yes.
There was.
I was able to do transparency as well. Yeah, so you had to get the right shader up.
That's really good.
Well, I'm glad one of us thinks so.
Congrats.
So here's the deal. Here's this project. This is my old project. This has got a lot of stuff in it. And this one is my new project right here. I'm calling it Core Effects. That's what's open right behind you. So far, I've done nothing. There's nothing inside it at all. And what I want to do is I want to open up the second one, and I want to start, hopefully, Unity's going to allow me to support copying assets across. They better. If they haven't done this right.
This surely is the kind of thing that you do pretty early on in your development cycle. In fact, there have been that many versions of Unity. How people would not have asked for this if it didn't exist in order for it to then be implemented?
Yeah.
Come on.
It has to exist, doesn't it? However, take a look at my Stream Deck application. Right? It's got these really handy copy and paste buttons. It does not use the clipboard.
Oh.
It does not. It has
Oh,
nothing.
we're sad. This is a very sad moment.
Yeah,
That's
no,
not
it
good.
doesn't. Also, the other thing that bugs me is if I want to fill out something. Here, let's go over to Dragon Humpers and get something. What is it? Here, this. So if I'm here and I want to tab down to here, they just gave me tabs up here.
I've noticed that as well.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
guys! Like, this is something I think you would just figure out on your own. But this has been like this for 2 years. I was even talking to them on the floor, and I was talking to them about the other problem that I really don't like is, why so small? What if I want to type in like 500 characters worth of stuff here? Why is this so tiny here, and why can't I resize it this way? I've got all this space, especially for like things where I'm opening up folders and things like that. Why don't my eyes have to wrap? It's not my favorite. Also, I would love to be able to just copy an icon and paste it everywhere else. Anyway, those are the things I want here, but they're not.
I'd like to be able to copy columns and rows and entire pages of buttons and paste them somewhere else. That would be nice. I think you can copy the page, but parts of it, other than one at a time. Ugh.
Yeah. What I do is I will do so. At least I reduce my. So like sometimes I've got a couple different stream decks, and the players on the Dungeons and Dragons game have smaller stream decks, and so what I'll do is I'll create like a mini version of it where all the buttons are in these corners here, so that I can, and so you can see what I've done here. So it'll fit on the mini, and then what I do is what do I do exactly? I copy it, and then I copy the individual pieces and kind of move them over, from one to another is what I do. So that I have these copy it, I paste it in my mini, so I've got them at least in the same spot, and I don't have to go back and forth between different places, and I just drag them one at a time. But yeah, it's a huge pain in the rear end. And everywhere else. Okay, so now this is my multi-mod assets project up. You can't quite see it there. There it is right there. That's the old one with all the assets. Just to give you a sense of where things were going, it was getting pretty, oh, you know what? I reverted it. But it was getting messy because I imported somebody else's scripts and somebody else's stuff. The components of this are, well, this one's actually, I want to take this and move it across. I'm just going to abandon this project here. I don't see a copy.
Wow.
That's a little painful. All right, I'm going to just open it up because, so this is all part of the modular stuff. I'm just going to copy it here, create a new one on the other side. I'm not giving up hope yet.
See, I'm wondering whether, obviously, a lot of these things, we've seen Studio, and we know a little bit more about how that works internally. It works on the basis, at least for a project, of having a list of files held in its project file. But there are other ways of using Studio. You can open a folder, and it will just show you everything in that folder. Or you can show hidden files in that folder. So, for example, is it possible to open up the File Explorer location for the scripts folder, copy it in Explorer, paste it into the right location, and then have the second copy of Unity kind of discover that it's been put there?
Yeah, you totally can do that. That's a great example. So let's do that. Show in Explorer, scripts, grab my spinner. Looks like I need meta too. Now I'm nervous. I don't know. Yeah, I guess I'm going to take it because I think that defines what the... I think that defines this right here. So I'm going to copy both of those. Come over to TaleSpire. Go to Scripts. Show Explorer. We'll try it right now, Roy. Here we go. Paste. Discover. All right. Step one. Not bad. Spinner is cool. So I started thinking about the modular spell effect system. And I started thinking, oh, you know what? We can start creating, we can kind of assemble and build our spell effects in a structural way. And I thought, oh, you know what would be really useful is a spinner. It allows me to specify degrees per second in all the 3 axes. And it's just for mono behavior. I can throw that onto anything and now start spinning it.
Yeah.
Excited?
Yeah, we can do that. Sounds
good. So spinner is now in there. Now the real thing I want to do though is I want to get I want to see if we can grab those spells. Are we going to have to copy the folder? Is that what we're going to have to do? I bet we are. Because I bet I can't come in here and I can copy the path, but I can't copy this. Can I copy one of these? They are not happy about that at all.
How is it possible for someone to look at a right-click menu for almost any object anywhere in any program and not think, yeah, I should be able to copy this?
I'm going to just copy the folder. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do. Show and explore. Anybody getting nervous? All right, here we go. Paste. Yeah. Is the metadata going to line up? Here we go. Spells would be really cool. Oh, we don't have materials. We need materials.
Okay.
Probably need that. Probably need that. Oh, shoot. I bet it just created a spells not meta for me, didn't it?
Well, either it did, and that's good enough, or it didn't, and you need to copy it. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm doing pretty good, though, Mark. How are you? All right, so that's going inside of... Ooh, I had that in Assets Spell Effects. I don't think I'm going to create that folder here. Although, I do have spells.
You see, if I had to guess, and admittedly it would be a guess, I'd say all those meta files are effectively indexes of the stuff they refer to. So if you delete them, they rebuild. They're like a cache of useful information, but they don't exist in a, they can be generated again. It's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I believe you. All right, so cool. Let's delete these then, and let's see what happens when we come in this time now. All right, so spells
all right.
is
Could be
gone.
very wrong.
We're going to delete that. And we're going to come in here. We've got materials, spells, and textures. Let's go in Fire Ring. Whoa, that's looking awesome.
There we go. That is presumably what it looked like when you saw it last.
Yeah, although this is actually super bright. It's like it's using a different shader. Let's look at Fireball. Not Fireball. Fireball is a prefab with two other things. I want medium fire is what I want. Yeah, it's super bright. Something has changed, and I don't understand what it is.
It's in a different scene, so did the scene itself have a light setting before? Or is it in a scene?
It's not in a scene. We're double-clicking on it, so we're just opening it up.
Okay, so in isolation.
Yeah, let's look at Evil Smoke. That was super dark. Well, Evil Smoke's even brighter, but it does look cool, though. Isn't that so cool?
So, shouldn't you be able to switch back to the other project, double-click them there, and sort of demonstrate the difference?
Yeah, let's do that. And now we're going to find out that I'm just... Yeah, look at that. See it? That's medium fire right there.
Yeah, that's not as bright.
Yeah, here's the fire ring. Something is wrong. What is wrong? Materials. Let's go to the material to see if we can find out. The fire sheet is here. It's got legacy. Yeah, that's the same one. Pretty sure. Fire sheet. Materials. Fire sheet. This inspector's on my other monitor. Let's go drag it over here. And it looks like it's also... I guess I have to do this to see it. Yeah, it's additive. So it's got the same shader. Textures. Is there any setting on the texture? Maybe there's a setting change here. Let's look at this. Fireball. This may be the issue, that we may have lost the meta there.
Maybe so.
Let's see if we can find out, see what's going on with that. Over here, textures, fire sheet. All right. Input texture alpha. That looks all the same. Repeat bilinear. Yeah, that all looks good. Can I move this down? I can't. Can I take this and drag this further right? I can't dock it there. That's weird. Well, I can do this. These look all the same. So then we're down to the renderer. All right, let's see if we can figure that out. So edit project settings. That's from this guy. These are the project settings for the one that's working.
Okay.
Just gonna move this down out of the way. And my project settings for the other one. That's over here. Let's go to graphics.
Something was disabled in one of those locations. The first page you were on was not identical.
It was on editor. I don't know if it was the same or not. I don't think editor would make a difference.
I missed it. Actually, it is the same. Sorry. It was just not aligned the same as all.
Let's get more of these on screen side by side here. Yeah, I think it's going to be in graphics. That's where I'm hoping the problem is going to be. What do I got here? Those look the same.
Yep. There's a different, currently tracked 16 shaders, 34 variants, and on the right was different numbers towards the bottom of your screen, covered by a tooltip right now. 15 and 12 versus 12 and 34.
Currently tracked 16 shaders, 34 total variants.
Meaning 4 shaders less are being tracked, whatever that means?
Yeah, I would agree with that. But that could be due to all the other stuff that was originally added to this.
True.
Is there anything else here?
There's a quality section. Does that refer? See, but if it's not graphics, what kind of quality is that? Anti-aliasing is disabled on one and 2x sampling on the other.
That would not account for what we're seeing, I think.
Numbers appear more or less the same, every other thing. Yeah, all numbers look the same.
Yeah, they're the same there. Anything in VFX? Is that something that would even... Oh wow, VFX is over here. Oh, I don't have... There's another project that I don't have installed on here that might impact this. That's the VFX. Let's go look into the package manager, the visual effect. The results for VFX. How about visual effect graph? Visual effect.
Yes, visual effect graph.
There it is, right there. All right, let's install that. I don't think this is going to help either, but maybe. I could go back, grab the meta. The meta should not have dependencies on what's above it, right? If you were writing that, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't say this meta belongs here. You'd allow somebody to copy it. I can go do that again. It does. I mean, it's not. The effects aren't bad, but I really kind of liked them where they were before. There's also there may be another option too to fix this.
So reading about this, the small bit of text on the visual effect graph, is this a thing that it works within the editor? Because you could make the argument that the quality was only within the editor. Maybe that when you ran the product, when you actually used the thing, it would be good at runtime. So is it affecting the quality there?
I don't think so, but let's do one more thing. Here's the fire ring right here. We're in Corfex. This is the new project. Let's go close down project settings here. Let's go to the particle system. I wanted to go in here. True property block is used to modify these values. Okay. Yeah, no, this all looks good. What if I went and picked a different one? And then went back and selected it again. Did I get a little bit less? Let's see. It's not quite where I want it. Particles, additive. Nope. It's definitely burning it out. Yeah, okay. I think next step is to copy the folders. So let's do this. Show and explore. And here's the original. Is that right?
That's your core effects. That's your new one.
They're both the same folder. Okay. Where's the other one? That's the old one.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is this.
So the old one, the multi-mod assets, that's the one where everything's working correctly currently. And you want to take a more streamlined, newer project and put copies of that stuff in it.
Yeah, I'm just going to copy this folder. Remember, like a few moments ago, Rory, we were like, what program this long could possibly not allow copy and paste?
Yep.
Okay, now what's happening? Ooh, it didn't rebuild. Let's see what happens if I double click on it. Yeah, it didn't see any differences, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's still bright. Let me just shut it down and bring it back in. And I almost want to... Oh, spell effects. Oh, look here. Let's grab the spell effects meta too. One more time.
That was a cut mark, wasn't it?
That was a delete.
Okay.
That was my new folder. I deleted one and back.
Yeah,
and I'm coming over here and copying this across. All right, start up Unity Hub again. So I'm looking for something like that out of Fire Ring.
Mm-hmm.
Fire Ring. Nope. So I learned about shaders, but apparently not enough. Is there any other options that affect quality? Shaders. Is there anything with shaders? Can I search for shader? Oh, we didn't look at the VFX settings and compare those.
True. Because we believed it wasn't installed on the new package.
Yeah, I was thinking, well, should any of that be being used? But
this is essentially like Nougat, right? Except just a different ecosystem.
Yeah. Okay, so on the left, on the right, those all look the same.
They really do.
And we checked quality and gets quality. Is that right? Wait, player? What do we got in player? Player's got some settings. Alright, let's move this down so we can see these. Color space,
Gamma versus linear.
I think that's it.
That would be good. Please magically be a little bit darker. Hey, that's definitely better.
We found it. We searched for shader, found it on player, found the difference in settings. Okay, good. Close that down. Yeah, we're kicking butt, Rory. This is like, people should fear us.
Yeah, okay, what you said. Uh-huh.
Okay, good. Next, multi-mod, export mod. Somewhere in the scheme of things, I have a document that I've been writing stuff down on. All kinds of things that I'm finding, right, as I'm exploring this thing.
It's a very good tactic to use. I'm doing a similar kind of thing. As I'm hearing, I watch a number of videos I think I'm learning some, you'd never believe this, I'm actually going down a parallel route to yourself at the moment. I'm learning some C++ and some
No.
OpenGL.
No.
And
run away, Rory.
Shaders.
Rory, you've got to stop. Well, maybe you can. Okay. Player color space, player rendering color space linear. Player rendering color space linear.
So what I'm doing is the same as you. I'm watching videos in my case, and I'm listening to people explain things. And when their explanations make particular sense that is not obvious from the code itself, I am adding comments to the effect of whatever that might be.
Yeah.
Because it's sort of a comment on my own understanding of it as I went along. If I was to do this again from scratch, I would forget or not understand the same things, being that I am me, and that is likely the case.
Yeah.
So to give myself this trail of breadcrumbs, like you're doing there, is a very helpful way of organizing your thoughts.
Yeah, also there's so much complexity here. Why would I want to remember all of these things, these steps here? These are the steps when I want to create a new multi-mod project here. So now we're, I think, ready to export. So we're going to go export. Now in the export, the other thing I've done is I've used my TaleSpire to set up shortcuts to the folders.
Okay.
So, for example, if I hit this button right here, it takes me to my Steam Apps TaleSpire folder.
Now, you mean your Stream Deck, not your TaleSpire.
I'm sorry, that's what I meant to say. That's called Dog wanted to let me know that he didn't want me to sleep last night. Plugins,
Fair enough.
multi-mod, mods, and then this is what I had working last night, and I renamed it to this.backup. So it's going to look for a DH Unity assets is what it's going to look for, I think. And so what I want to do is, let's go to here. Let's go to the old project right there. And let's click up multi-mod, and let's click here and make sure we're generating to the same folder. Okay. Next, we can specify the mod name right there, whatever that's going to be. I don't think it matters. Now that I said that, I think it's going to go in and find this. I should probably compress this and delete it so it's got at least a different extension and it's not a folder. Okay. Okay. So I got that, I think, copied to the clipboard. Come back over to my Core Effects project and do multi-mod. And looks like it's in the same spot already. Maybe I already set this up. Looks like I did. I think that's matching. All right, let's hit export. That's
okay, so let's quickly review. Oh, go on.
Oh no, I was going to say I just hit it and I didn't see any UI, but down here it says export completed.
Oh wow, that was fast.
Hold on a second though. It does say something here. It says asset bundle names. There's a variant. It sees a variant out there. All right, let's call this instead. I think it was fast because it had an error. Let's call this DH course belts. And now I'm trying to export on it. That's what I'm expecting to see.
Okay. So I was just going to say, let's have a quick review of how this is expected to work. So we have a game, TaleSpire. It is written in Unity, and we know from having poked around the internet a bit that this facility called BepInEx is able to subvert programs that run in but more based on Unity, and they're able to subvert them with the specific intent of modding. The mod is a plugin which is written to understand the way BepInEx works. BepInEx will look at the mod, find it in the right location, and integrate it in all the magical ways, at which point we have a degree of control. Okay. What I am less clear on, perhaps just failing memory here, is your multi-mod project and what it represents in this chain.
The multi-mod project is just a representation of their source code that does the loading, responsible for loading and some other pieces. Or wait, hold on. When you say multi-mod, are you talking about the multi-mod assets project here, this is multi-mod assets, which is my old Unity project, or are you talking about my Visual Studio multi-mod project, which has all of the multi-mod code that I downloaded from GitHub. That's this one right here.
I believe the second one, because it was my understanding that the first of those, a Unity project again with assets in, is simply a collection of assets you would like to be able to load from within code.
It's essentially, that's correct, but it's also got a DLL. It's got a DLL as well. The DLL, so if we go in to, so let me kind of link these up. This piece right here, this was super useful for debugging. You can see I started getting exceptions when I was loading stuff up, and so I said let's load them up. By the way, reflection type load exception I learned about. That has an array of other exceptions that were caught in a call to simply loading up an assembly. So I can have a type reference inside an assembly that references another type outside of that assembly, and if it can't find that other assembly, it'll get an exception, and that can happen multiple times.
Useful.
Yeah, so I added this code to multi-mod so that I could see the errors, so then it could give me a clue as to what wasn't loading. Then I knew how to fix it. That was happening last night too.
So in our sort of ecosystem that we're learning about here, multi-mod is another plugin. It is one of these that sits beneath BepInEx, but it happens to have full source code and happens to give you some very useful techniques for using in our own plugin. Yes, it does. And the most important thing is I can now throw debug log messages in here and understand what's happening. So, okay. Excellent. Inside that clears up all of that. Well, there's still a little bit more. Inside of our D&D app, there's two projects that are important: TaleSpire Explore and TaleSpire Core. TaleSpire Core is pretty much straightforward. It's a class library with a bunch of helper classes in it so that I can do things in TaleSpire. Okay? Yes. As we learn about TaleSpire-like things and we choose to sort of, I guess we wrap them in useful code and sort of abstract away the tiny amounts of complexity that we would like to otherwise not have to deal with, and make it more easy to use. Right. Now, TaleSpire Explorer has a reference to something called Unity Assets, which I'm going to remove. That Unity Assets was something that we don't need anymore. That was the name of the old project, what it would create. Okay. So now, what do we have in here? Core spells. And it's got newassembly.dll. This one's newassembly.dll too. Wait, that's the one it just built, I bet, though. It does. 5.11 is today the 11th. Yes, that just built that. So I'm not sure why this built here. I'm going to delete that. I think that's like maybe old stuff. The new assembly I want to change. I don't like that new assembly at all. I want to figure out what I've done wrong and fix it. So one of the things that we couldn't do last week, we had this problem where we wanted to take a sphere and we wanted to steal the material off it, I think, at one point, in order to make a sphere that we would build transparent in the same way as it was. And we went down a lot of blind alleys with this, and eventually a number of people suggested, sorry, no, you can't do that. What you need to do is to make a thing in Unity that has all of that already applied using the right shader or whatever else. Yeah. And that led us to the conclusion that what we really needed to do was to build our own asset pack of some kind, be it a DLL, be it some other kind of file, with stuff we had designed directly in the UI of Unity and had applied these techniques to, and then that would represent objects which we would insert into the world, and they would have Karen. This level of transparency. Sorry, Roy, Karen's talking to me. Give me a second. No problem. Karen, can you text me what you need me to do? All right, bye. All right. I'm sorry about that, Roy. So I heard part of what you were saying, and I can respond to that. The essence is, we needed to create it in there, and so therefore is the rest of what you said. Essentially, we had to make sure this was working so we could design here. Yeah. So essentially now what we're doing is you've moved on a little bit and you've discovered how to make a Unity project which can be ultimately used to generate those assets, be it with or without the DLL. Right. And the theory is we'll then be able to load those assets from within our plugin and insert them into the scene in places of our choosing. Yeah, hold on one second.
I'm just checking. Karen needs me to do something. I might have to do this right now.
It must be very hard to text with all that pudding.
Yeah. Fuck. Oh, sorry. I shouldn't have said that word. Sorry about that, kids. This is not good at all. I have to make a phone call is what I have to do, Rory. Guys, I'm so sorry. I'm going to be back in like about, I think, 2 minutes. I'm going to make the call right now, and so I think it's going to be about 2 minutes. Apologies to everyone. We'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Holy cow.
Hey.
That was like a thing I had to do.
Fair enough. Sometimes life just works that way.
Wow. Clip, what are the things that happened? I don't want to watch this clip. Is that going to be me saying bad words?
It might be.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. We don't document that here. Nothing happened on this show.
Nothing happened on. Nothing that never in the history of this show has ever happened before happened just now.
Oh, man. All right. So, close a couple things down. Yeah, apologies for that, but we're back. And I kind of lost with all of that. My focus was totally switched to another part of my brain. I wanted to point out we changed the name of that assembly is selected here. So I want to rebuild that assembly. I'm not liking the with that right here. That's not happy for me. I'm going to just take this whole thing out and delete it. We're going to do it one more time. So we'll come in here, we'll build again. While that builds, I'm going to go, we'll talk over in this space. So here, select the files to reference. I want to add a reference to that new DLL that we're adding. That DLL is going to contain the code from Spinner.
Okay.
Oh, apply those. Okay. I gotta hit the apply button. All right, did that export work? Instant was null, loading resource. What? This weird thing again. Let's clear all of this. I want to go look at the core effects assembly. Now, it does say asset bundle here. I think I want to say, what if I said none? DH core spells. Oh, no, wait. I want to say DH core spells. Ah, I see. So this asset bundle option down here apparently shows which I think it's going to be which one it is. Let's see if that works. Let's come in again. Do it. No, that went way too fast. Wait, I need to apply this, right? I changed it, but I didn't see the apply button coming in. DH core spells assets and DH core spells can't exist in the same build as DH core spells.assets has the variant. I don't understand that.
It's the second line. It continues. I don't know why it's...
Has the variant build asset bundles. No, it's a period right there.
Is it?
Yeah. Has the variant. I don't quite understand that. What if I change this to none and what's going to happen?
Well, that certainly took longer.
Yeah. Let's do it one more time. Export. All right, that looks better. Okay. Now let's see what we got out here. Core spells. Good. Core spells DLL. That's what I want to now reference. So back over here, there it is, core effects DLL. So now that I've referenced this here, I'm going to be able to get access to Spinner. In fact, somewhere I've already got a Spinner reference in here.
Now that's at least that you're going to be able to reference the type that represents it, the code.
Yes.
You have any physical assets that will accompany that?
Oh, you know what? I reverted this folder too. Is that true or not? No, I don't think so. It didn't find Spinner. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't, but I bet I can type it in. Whoops, Spinner. There it is, right there. And I bet if I, what'd you say?
That's good, yeah.
Yeah, it's good. If I do a new and then I can, there we go, degrees per second, X, Y, and Z. See it?
Okay, so the code is definitely accessible and referenceable. That's good.
Yeah.
What I was asking though is, are there any physical assets associated with Spinner?
Yeah, those are going to be in Windows, and those are here.
Okay.
So the next.
Now, if you're doing copy local on the DLL reference to core spells, that means though that those assets, those content, if you like, that's not necessarily being copied to wherever the plugin's running from.
I actually copied this to where the plugin's running from, and that reminded me I need to come in here and say copy local to false, because it's already in the place it needs to be.
Okay.
All right. So now with that all done, let's start up Steam and start up TaleSpire and go. And here, one of the things that's showing up on another monitor, let me bring it up. There's the BepInEx.
That's the debug messages that you were talking about.
Debug messages, exactly. And as we
Good
come
stuff.
in here, let's we're kind of feeling locked up here. I may have done this. There seems to be a state as it comes in where I can kind of lock things up and it feels like I've hit that state. Oh no, I'm good again. It's just taking a while. Sometimes it'll lock. I've seen it once. All right, so now what we're looking for is, now we don't load yet.
No.
I changed this because we couldn't do things at this time. We had to wait just a little bit. And then now we're about to load. There we go. Nice. So these are good messages. So these are assets that are found. Particle dome. Remember I was talking about that idea of creating a particle dome, Rory?
Yeah.
This comes up. Spells loaded. Looking for export settings. Interesting. I saw that. So we got some prefabs. We got this. I think things might be okay. Oh, this is not good.
This is looking pretty good.
This part's not. This looks locked. Haven't seen that before. And do I have, by chance, I know it's not responding. Stop and restart. I have the console paused. Hit escape. Coding Gorilla saw something I didn't see.
Oh, is Coding Gorilla, is that strange effect where you click in a console and a square caret sort of sits there and essentially stops anything from happening?
Is that
you can
what
also
it was?
right click and effectively it's like it jams the entire operation of that console.
Wow, I did not know that. Thanks so much. What an awesome bit of information, Coding Gorilla. Coding Gorilla, you got to be like a guest host on the show if you ever want to do that.
Oh, absolutely.
Let me know, and I'll be your co-host, or I'll be your sidekick. Because Coding Gorilla knows a whole bunch of good information.
He does.
All right. All right. So I got this again. I don't know why that message is in there. There's still code that's trying to load up that default. Let's go see it. Anything show up out in this country out here? Nothing. I think that's still okay. Okay, so now what I want to do is let's drop a character on here, and now what I want to do is come back over here. Apes don't like spotlights or cameras for that matter. All right, gotcha. All right, let's see. Does firework? Does fire ring work? No? Oh wait, I'm gonna say yes. Hey. It's just in the wrong spot.
That's looking good.
Let's bring this guy over here.
Nice.
Okay, nothing's built there. That's actually okay. The other one used to put stuff there. Wait, where's my, am I on the wrong one? It's over here, isn't it? Yeah, isn't that cool?
That is very nice. Very nice indeed.
That's standard particle effects. So it's not using the new VFX graphics, which is very cool, by the way.
So let's be clear here. This is an asset that you brought into TaleSpire that in no way exists in TaleSpire on its own.
That's right.
That's fantastic.
Is correct. And I can just type in, I made it so I can just type in the name of any of these prefabs. So we can go back over into here and take a look at the prefabs I've got here inside Spell. Evil Smoke. Evil Smoke, as I recall, shows up a little low. Evil Smoke, like this. It shows up underground. Yeah, you can barely see it there. Let's move this down. There it is right there. There's that Evil Smoke. Can't quite get it. But there it is right there. Now, the cool thing about this is a particle, right? In other words, if I put Evil Smoke in a spinner, it would start spinning. Does that make sense? I can build things, and we can create, like if we have a spinner and we have an offsetter, right? We could create an empty game object, apply the spinner to it, have it parent another empty game object, apply the offset, and now we've got a particle effect spinning around like this. Does that make sense? And
before you know it, you've got a goblin on a ceiling fan.
That's what I'm talking about. Goblins on ceiling fan. Wow, the goblin really hit the ceiling fan.
425 show is raiding with a party of 20. Come on in, everybody.
Thanks for that raid. That's exactly what we need here, guys, because, you know. Microsoft developers rating with party of 16.
Oh, we're popular today.
So, all right. So here's where we are, kids. You just missed this part right in here. We're like, there's that one. Let me get our, I haven't done this one yet. Spelled, what does I call it? The something dome? Particle dome? Particle dome. Yeah. Let's go see if that thing works. Right here. Let's type in particle dome. Let's get TaleSpire up. We're modding TaleSpire, kids.
I was going to say, to give people who've just coming in some kind of an idea of what we're doing, we're modding TaleSpire, as Mark says. TaleSpire is a facility available on Steam to allow people who are sort of sharing Dungeons & Dragons kind of events to create a world for their players to inhabit and to move around in and to make things just a little bit more, well, kind of visceral and real for them. And what we're doing here is we're using a combination of Unity and C# and Visual Studio and a BepInEx plugin facility that we discovered on the internet to inject assets into the TaleSpire game that were never meant to be there. So these assets Mark has created in his own Unity project, and we're using a plugin and we're forcing things to build in some strange ways.
Yeah.
But we have success. We have actually got the presence of these assets, these particle effects in this particular case, inside the game, fully aware so far of what's going on. It's fantastic. This is going to be really useful.
So that was a particle dome. We did fire ring at the very beginning. White smoke. I haven't seen white smoke either. Let's go try out white smoke. Let's see. Try that. White smoke. Is it one word? I think it might be. Let's try that. Maybe 2 words. There it is, right there. It's got some white. So we're bringing in particle effects. So cool. Right? And what we want to do, I brought this up here, what we want to do is we're going to create a modular spell system for TaleSpire. And see here, oh no! Grover, what'd you do to Oscar? Grover. Hey, Frank Fucheros, BSD guy. You guys made it. So glad. We were all worried about you. We're like, are they going to make it or not? It's treacherous, that path of the raid. So, goal, I want to easily create spell effect combos. I've got 200 to 400 spells in Dungeons & Dragons. I want to be able to very quickly, very easily create distinct looking spell effects in TaleSpire, which is early access, which right now doesn't have any effects. There are no effects that it has. It doesn't have spell effects. I want to add them because I've got this awesome D&D game engine that we've been building for this show. Fred is a player on that show. We've been building this awesome. That smoke looks really good, by the way. I'm really pleased with that. That looks good. I did that. These are all things I did from scratch here. Just learning how to use a particle system. I just want to say, I'm not a bad guy.
With brute force and ignorance, as they say,
look what we can do.
You can achieve amazing things.
Look what we do. Oh, watch this. I didn't show you this, Roy. I did this over the weekend, too. This is how much time has passed. Watch this. Flashlight on. Oh, shoot. Never mind. I had some other code there. Ignore that.
Here's this thing I got right and then threw away.
I covered it. There's something cool underneath it. You'll see in a little bit.
Oh, I see.
But anyway, we're going to be able to get that dome effect that we wanted to get over that. We'll be able to get that, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so where was I? Going back out. Modular spell effects. That's what I want to do. There's essentially... Oh, I want to show you this. Look at this, Roy. I did this too. This is mind-blowing. Watch this. I'm going to turn on the ruler spell effect and watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think it's got 10 nodes limits that it goes to. What is my command? It is get ruler. Oh, it's not showing the fire though. Did I lose that? Okay. It finds the handles and it should be drawing fire at all of those points. Anyway, that I've figured out how to do. So, anyway, this is for building.
This is the man who at the start of the stream declared that he'd been having this really bad time, and then
Yeah.
proceeded to explain all the awesome progress that had been made.
I know. That's what lack of sleep does. So what I'm going to do though is be able to build walls. So one of the things you can do in D&D is you can say, I want to cast a wall, and you can cast it up to 30 feet or 60 feet or whatever that is. Well, now players will be able to actually measure out the 60 feet or the 90 feet, whatever that wall is, and say exactly where they want that wall. And when they hit the button to finally do it and to cast the spell, what's going to happen is the wall is going to go light up right in that space. That's what we're going to do. What we're doing is we're taking the things that we know well, which is in our D&D engine. We know the spells really well. We've got a lot of data on that. We're managing the turn-based stuff as well. So we're going through the turns really well, managing combat, battle, the clock we've got. Here's the D&D clock right over here to my right. We've got that day and time. We've got alarms. We've got spells. We know when spells end. All of this, we're creating an environment where we'll actually be able to play the real, actual rules of D&D. That's what we're trying to do.
And to be fair, a fair amount of that we've done over quite a long period of time leading up to this. We built a game engine that does understand a lot of these things. What TaleSpire gives us is a way to represent these things in a more tangible way. So it's almost like we've kind of built the I won't say that it's not quite the laws of physics, but the laws of magic, if you like. They exist. There's a known kind of quantity to them, and now we can represent this in a 3D world. The coming together of those two things is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is very cool. All right, so that's step one. Step two now is proof. So what I need to prove next, though, I'll go through this. Let's go through just the overview of where we're headed with regards to the code, but we're going to stay in Unity for a bit before we get to the code. Because the next thing we're going to do, in fact, maybe we'll start that right now because there's some downloads and things involved with there. We're going to create a new Unity project and we're going to put prefab assets in it and see if we can get those running. That's what we're going to do next.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, I want to create a new, use that version number right there. This is going to be, I forget what it's called. It's, I think it's called top-down graphics is what it was, the asset that I bought. Hopefully I'm remembering that correctly. Top-down graphics. Not going to put in core effects. Going to go up one and call it top-down. Hopefully I've got the right name on there. And create. And then we're going to go through the steps of building this, setting this up just like we did before. These are the steps right here. So I've got step one is done. I need to copy multi-mod to that folder. So let's go do that. Copy that folder right there. Let's go jump to that folder. This is the folder I need to copy. And I need to put that in, where's that instance of Unity?
Copying the multi-mod folder. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Will you be copying the multi-mod meta with it?
Oh, that's a great point. Let's do it. Let's totally do it. Now I'm learning how to copy things. I'm looking for that instance of Unity. I don't see it up. Oh, it says it's importing. Project busy. That's why I don't see it yet. Okay, that's opening up. Hold on one second. Hold on, Campbell just wrote something to me. I'm going to share it. See what he says here, see if it looks true or not. I figured something out. Any multiplication of 2 of the same numbers between 10 and 20, not sure if it applies anywhere else, is equal to 100 plus the second digit times 2 times 10 plus the second digit times itself.
So, the square of any number between 10 and 20.
It's not square.
For example.
It's not the square.
Well, he says a number multiply two of the same numbers, and he's 14 as his example there.
Yes. Oh, I see.
So that's
square. Okay, yeah, I'm with you. Okay, yeah. So
is equal to 100 plus the second digit times 2.
Well, let's just see what if we do this with it, and if we get the exact same thing. 10 plus 4 times 10 plus 4. Whoops. Let's put this out in the middle so it's easier to see. That's equal to 100 plus 40 times 10. Times 10 plus, I cannot type today. Did you get it for me already out there? Is that Alibab pack right there? 10 plus 40 plus 40.
196 is that sum.
40 plus 16. Right there. So he's got 196 up there. Now what is he saying? It is equal to 100. Well, I agree with him on the 100 part. Plus the second digit times 2. That's the second digit. That is times 2, right? It's 2 times this.
Yep.
Wait, hold on. Let's get this on the next line. 2 times the second digit times 10 plus the second digit times itself. He's absolutely correct.
Ooh.
You are absolutely correct. I just typed that right back in. Good job, Campbell. Yeah. All right. Campbell helps me out on Fridays and Saturdays. We do kids code show where we're coding, writing code, learning about writing code. Check us out then. And if you got kids, bring them by too. All right. So we need to copy multi-mod. Do we have it finally open? Where are you, Unity? There it is. Right there. Top-down graphics. Right click. Show and explore. Back over, I think here. That's our source. And this is just going to give us the plugin.
We're going to make a new asset bundle.
Talking about Campbell. Campbell carries the show.
That's Campbell. Yeah.
Campbell
and his glamorous assistant, Mr. Mark Miller.
It's part of the contractual agreement, right? Rory had to, Dev Express made Rory sign something that said, look, you work with Mark, you're going to have to carry him. And not just sometimes, every step of the way. Campbell just...
I still don't know how I'm getting away with it.
I said, you were absolutely correct. He said, yes, I am. I wanted to come back, but can you prove it? You prove it?
Spreadsheet.
Challenging him. Oh yeah, spreadsheet I suppose could do it too, couldn't he? But I liked what we did as a proof. I thought that was.
Oh, proper proofs don't involve the demonstration of every iteration, which is what I would go with.
Right.
There's formulaic cleverness goes on, and that's good.
All right, so I have copied it over, and now I'm going to activate over here. And why isn't it scanning that? Why didn't that work? Show and explore. Oh, because I didn't put it in. I put it in the wrong folder. It's got to go into assets. Move to assets. Okay. Now we'll see a multi-mod menu up there. That's the tool that bundles up these packages. And I haven't made any changes to the multi-mod bundling. I've only made changes to the loading. The loading is the only thing that was failing, and I made changes to. Okay, so that's step 2. Step 3, create a folder inside assets called scripts. And you got to put a script in there, is what we've got to do. So, because otherwise nothing will build, and we kind of need something to hold on to, so we can, I guess I can just do this. New folder, scripts. I should have done it, I guess, in Unity instead, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, over there's scripts.
So does the multi-mod insert itself into the sort of compile pipeline, if you like? So the idea is, because there is something to compile.
No, but it does invoke.
It then runs.
It invokes it. It invokes it. So we're going to call this top-down right here. Really hope I got this name right. I'm going to be like top-down graphics. The whole thing's going to be... All right, the name is good here. And then we want to say not any platform. What I want instead is only Windows and editor. That's what I'm instructed to do. Next I need to Next, I need to create a new C# script here. And I think I'm going to call this maybe startup. I don't know. I really don't think I'm going to do anything with this yet right now, but I'm going to double click it to open it up. There's no ref. There's a no ref down the bottom. I'm not sure where that's coming from. I'm going to open it up and I'm going to make 2 small changes to it, just because the Modular tool added kind of some interesting access to assets, so that if I wanted in my script to access any other asset, I could do that. And all I have to do is descend from mod behavior instead of mono behavior. And I'm going to use the interface right there. Okay. So that's just like some placeholder stuff is what's going on.
And I think
there.
we discovered also that the mod behavior actually descends from mono behavior anyway, so it's not like you're losing anything.
Yes.
Yeah, you get the sum
That's
of
right.
both.
It actually does. All right, next. I want to go to, what is it? The package manager. And I want to go to my assets maybe? Top-down effects. And I want to choose import. So the test here is, can we get assets from 2 different Unity projects? The reason why is because the build time is a lot.
Yeah, so you'd rather only have to build, if you have 10 packages and you've made a small adjustments, and they've all got like 10 assets in, that's 100 assets. Building 100 assets into a single workflow is potentially very long.
Yeah.
But if you've broken it down into 10 packages, then only rebuilding the 10 assets into that one project much quicker.
Also, testing changes, the edit, compile, test cycle gets huge. And so what I want to do is I want to be able to control which packages I'm working on and have smaller build times. That's what my goal is. So on the import Unity package piece, it's basically saying, here, do you want to import these? I'm going to say, yeah, do it. Bring them in. I also bought something else. Which one was it? Maybe I haven't downloaded it yet. Yeah, it looks like it's not downloaded yet. Okay, so I hit import. Is it in? Doesn't look like maybe I didn't hit it. Okay.
Mark, what were you looking for? Because there seems to be a lot of things there that have not downloaded, but they are still listed.
Yeah, it was another asset. All assets are already in your project. Okay, they're already in there. Okay, so now that they're in, Sign VFX creates this folder. Inside there, it's got document and packages. Oh, documentation packages. We've got to install. And so we install this first. These are the core packages. Then we have, notice step 2, Rory, has got HDRP. That's your high definition rendering pipeline. It's got standard and it's got URP, which I think is universal rendering pipeline. We only, for reasons mentioned earlier, can only work in standard.
Yeah.
So anything I buy has got to support standard because TaleSpire apparently only supports standard, was built with standard pipeline. I don't know of a way to combine these yet. I'm going to still try. I haven't given up. I still got that tool in my, tool bucket called brute force. Wrapped in a heaping supply of ignorance. All right, we'll switch over. I said there'd be installs, and we'll talk about this. So spell types. There's an in-place spell type that just is the effect. This is spell effect types. So in place, I just need a target. I need a 3D target. 3D vector. Show me where that is. Traveling, I need source and target vectors. But remember the spinner? What if I took a traveling, created a traveling script, and then parent it a spinner, so I could have an object spiraling at you, right? And even
absolutely,
and couple that with a distance piece, and have all of these have the ability to, have start and end animations. So and so I can basically have it start out and spiral in, or start tight and spiral wide, right? Yep. All of these things with a few changes, a few properties would be very cool.
You can get a lot of mileage out of small things put together in many combinations.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for, travel time. And I want to create this kind of modular ability to kind of mix and match, paste, together spell effects, modify the pieces that I want to modify, so I can have a radically different set of spell effects and very quickly define them. Wall, and this is sort of like point to point. So point, like that. Let's see how we're doing over there. That looks like that one is done. Let's go look at the console a second. This one I think has been sitting around for a while. Built contents containers. I am going to clear this. We're going to go to the next step, which is step 2 standard. And I'm just going to take everything, bring it in.
Yep. Yes, I'll have all of those effects. Thank you very much.
And we'll let that go in. We'll keep talking about what we're going to do. Assets: fire, smoke, water, ice, earth, dark energy, light energy. Those are kind of the things I want to be able to support. So some of these require different kind of physical assets, like ice and water are very different from fire. But once you have these pieces, then you can start. And once you have energy, and the reason I wrote a dark and a light is because in my experience, taking an asset that's dark and turning it to another dark asset is easy, but having an asset that's dark and making it light is harder. So I want to have two different kinds of kind of a dark energy and light energy pieces, so I can very easily modify those two pieces.
Because when you have something that's dark to start with, it's kind of low fidelity in terms of range of light. So when you're bringing the light back to it, you sort of don't know how much to give to different aspects or different areas.
Right.
You need to have a substantial thing. You could probably start with something that was fairly medium and go in, and fairly well defined and go in both directions. But you need that definition. Somehow.
Then I've got scripting and property settings. So I want the ability to add scripts and to set properties. That's what I want to be able to do. So, I have the example from the spinner right here. I want to be able to set a property by specifying its name. Its type will be somewhere, probably in some registered location, and a value for it. The value will be in the form of a string, and there'll be some converter that'll go from string to value. Maybe it'll be JSON. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards. But that's kind of what we're looking at. That's kind of what I'm playing with.
So that's interesting. You're going to have an asset pack with some effects and another asset pack with some other kind of an effect. You may need at some stage a third asset pack which creates an asset using assets from the first two.
Right.
So you've got a hierarchy of asset packs, and then there's a need to load from all three ultimately because of things you're going to try to do.
Yeah. And right now, my loader, and in hearing you say that, my loader is, that looks like that is import FBX warnings. Player settings. Virtual reality support is obsolete. The APIs should no longer be. It looks like I've got some setting problems, maybe.
Maybe.
Okay. Next.
That smacks more of a kind of obsolete. I'm not sure that's an actual error of any kind. It's please don't do this kind of thing.
Okay. So now we've got some scripts.
Yep.
And I wonder if these scripts are not needed for running. And these are not needed. I need any scripts that they do need to move those. But I'm not seeing any scripts here. I'm seeing these in editor. Runtime, I think I need the runtime scripts. I'm assuming the runtime are the ones used. That's my take on it. I think I'm going to take runtime and drag it into here. Anybody nervous?
Perpetually nervous.
Perpetually nervous. All right, next.
Yes.
Complete effects. Is that where they are right here? Okay, next. I'm not going to touch this. I'm going to keep this right here. Let's double click on this. Laser cannon. I'm not seeing anything here. All right, let's go into multi-mod. Let's do export mod. Is it put in the same place? I think it is. Yes. Okay. But now, it's got the same settings across projects. That might be because we copied over the meta. So let's change this to
top down.
Top down. Thanks, Roy. It's that sleep deprivation.
So it would be good to be able to see are we able to open the other project after we've completed this and for it to maintain its value.
Yeah. I'm just going to select this to start a prefab right here. It's just needed, I think, for the compile. Let's do an export and see what we get. When TaleSpire is up and running, let's close that down. Let's go back to our other core effects. Let's go raise up. Well, let's look at our particle dome. Particle dome. It looks good. Yeah, it's zeroed out. It just seems like it was underneath. I'm trying to figure out why it was underneath. It seemed low to me. But it's at 0, 0. I don't have any.
Wasn't it the evil smoke that was low?
They were both. Yeah, they were both low. This was low too. This also I had to take off the top to see it.
Okay.
Maybe not. No, maybe it was okay. It was just small. Maybe that's it. Let's go look at evil smoke. Evil smoke is here. Okay, that's all good. Scale. Yeah, it's all zeroed out. All zeros there, all zeros
There's a randomized position which had a 0.1.
I know that's just the start of the pieces here. Evil Smoke was under as well. Okay, I'm not going to change it. All right, back over here. Did we get it? Export. Good, no errors. Let's go look at what we've got out here.
Is it because the evil smoke emanates in all directions, including down? And therefore its base is partially up the model and looks like it's low.
My sense of where that corner point is maybe not great. I'm getting it from the. I don't know if that Y position is exactly the top of the floor or in the middle of the floor. I don't know exactly where it is.
Fair enough.
That needs more research. Okay, plugins, multi-mod. Mods, core spells. I was expecting more to be here. Yeah, why didn't it go in here? It said it was successful. That should totally have gone out here. Why did that apparently not work? Export completed. Plugins, multi-mod. Mods to each core spells. Oh, it did put it in the same folder. But why don't I have another DLL here? And why don't I have anything
times
top
are
down?
Quite a lot earlier than now. It's about 30
oh,
minutes
hold on,
ago,
I'm looking at the wrong one. Here we go. Wait, this is it or not? CoreFX.
You
No.
got TaleSpire on
alt
two different
tabbing.
machines.
Yeah, I'm
You're
alt
looking at the right
tabbing.
machine.
Yeah, I'm alt tabbing to it, but I don't see it. I don't see it at all. Yeah, that's really weird. Where are you? Oh, it's probably because it's still working. Hell Green is out there. Says, hello, Wizards of Code. Welcome. Yeah, it's still working. That's why. Yeah, that's why I can't alt tab.
Okay. And this is why, if you were building something significantly smaller in another project, it would be great to not have to rebuild this, because as you pointed out before, this is really quite a long build cycle.
Right. So
that counters up to 4 minutes plus now.
Right. So I want to have a very small project where I have the one thing I'm working on. So I have very fast edit, compile, test cycles. How you doing, Hell Green? Glad you're with us. And then I want other projects to have pieces that are already built. All right, so now export completed. Nope, that's CoreFX. Hold on, let's get it right. Export completed. Top down. There it is, right there. Okay.
Yep.
Now, so if we look at it, there's our top down.
There we go.
Now I've got that
Cool.
top down DLL. So let's go reference that from this guy so we can now use it. Anything inside of there. So we're going to go grab that. And it's not that we necessarily need it right now, or we may need it ever, but I'm doing this as a kind of a matter of convention.
Yeah.
So that I turn copy local off. And now let's build this. And I think this is all we have to do. Theoretically, all this works. And then we'll be able to access the top-down spell effects. That was it. Build succeeded in TaleSpire. So now let's try that. And this is where things could get over the top. I looked through. This is the last thing I did last night. I was playing these. I was like, oh my god. Hellgreen says, good, thanks. I haven't been able to watch a D&D show yet. Been busy at work, and our time zones might not align super well, but I'll keep an eye out. D&D is out on, it's on another channel, just to make sure you're following the right one. We have not done some shows in a while there. We're kind of, a lot of people are traveling and all of that. It's all coming together at some point in the future. All right. TaleSpire is up, started. I'm going to take this, say 1, 2, 3. Look back over here, and we should see a whole bunch of things found. Got this message box, got to clear that off. Okay, there's those. What about the others? Uh-oh. We didn't get the others. That's not good. But,
well, that's a big list.
Wait.
There's a top-down effect.
Hold on. The problem is adding the resources. So we're going to be able to find ours, but not theirs. It looks like we just need there's like 1 or 2 lines of code we got to do here. So I think we've got medium fire is ours to demonstrate that ours are working. There should be a fire. Uh-oh. Not responding. That doesn't feel like a good not responding.
Oh, right-click again in the code window in the background. The act of highlighting is every bit as bad.
That's an interesting design choice. Would you agree?
Oh, right. Yes.
So there's...
Well, this proves your point, though, right? Right here, this is proof, because despite not having just rebuilt our first asset pack, because we've been building our second one, it still works. Okay, we are able to access the assets we were using.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to work. Let's see what happens. Okay, so that one doesn't work. So we need to figure out why. We need to go look at the messages here and see what's working, what's not, and figure out what we're failing to do. I think it's like 1 line of code change. So these debug messages, C# raid, is that coming from C# Fritz? How's it going,
oh, wow.
C# Fritz?
Come on in, everyone.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the show.
Welcome indeed.
How you doing, C# Fritz? Jeff Fritz. I've been I got to talk to you about some stuff. We're doing something at Build together for about a minute, I hear. And you've got expertise on that. We'll have to talk about that. It was a lot, and I love it. Yeah, we got a lot everywhere in here. Ancient Coder says, awesome intro. Thanks. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Ancient Coder. How are you guys doing? How was your stream? I bet it was awesome as usual. I see good things. Keep hearing good things about you, Jeff. That's all good, right? Rory's here with me. By the way, Rory is in the UK. He's,
Hello.
The voice of wisdom on here. We're just we're in the process of hacking into TaleSpire. TaleSpire is this D&D mapping game engine, and we're going to merge it with our D&D game as well. Ancient Coder says, doing good. Thanks. What are you guys working on?
So in the background here, you see TaleSpire, Steam application game / I don't know, utility, if you like. It's basically there to help D&D people make their worlds more real, more tangible. You can move your characters through it. You can have huge mountains. You can have rooms, dungeons, all kinds of stuff. But what isn't normally there is that little piece of fire that we have injected directly in there. This is a particle effect that Mark has been building in Unity. And we've effectively used some third-party tools, BepInEx and a few other things, in order to help us inject our own code into this game. And now we can communicate with it and tell it to do things when we want.
Yeah, that's right. There's some white smoke right there for you. Also, oh, you can't see it. You say there's some dark smoke right there.
Covering things up.
Yeah, Disco 7's coming in with his fanfare. Right in there. So
there we go.
Just switch that off. So this is also not an asset in TaleSpire, but we got it in. So that's all good, right? So what we want to do, though, is we want to figure out, we just downloaded a bunch of new assets, compiled them into a separate DLL. We want to bring those in. That's what we want to do. So I want to figure that out, and the key is in the debug log. This code right here, where it says adding evil smoke to the dictionary, we want to go find that corresponding code inside this method right here. Let's go find adding to the dictionary. Okay. Good. This is startup prefab is low. Then we go to all the prefabs that are here, though. So we need more of those mod content handler prefabs. That's not good, but that's where we're getting them from. I think it's not good. Let's allow us to see a little bit more code. Give me a sec. We found them essentially here. Mod found. And up here, I think we have another mod found. So it found DH core spells.
Yes.
It found DH top down. We got 2 mods that it found. Hey, Coder says, good to see you! Good to see you too, Jeff Fritz. C# Fritz coming in with the C# Fritz hat. Visual Studio for the win! And C#. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing here. That's a fun logo. Okay, so I found the 2 mods. What's interesting is we don't see, I'm expecting a similar set of these pieces. This adding code.
Yeah.
Where was it? There's mod found right there. The adding code I think was a little lower. Here it is right here. Wait, mod loaded. Are we not loading it? Let's copy everything. Bring it into another instance of Notepad, and we'll search for it. Look for loaded. Is loaded a word that we're going to see a whole bunch of here? That's a better way to look at it.
So there's a state unloaded.
They both have a sample scene.
Oh, I see. So there may be a conflict between them?
Also, mod found state unloaded. You're right. I think that is interesting. So now I'm going to have to look at this a little closer to see how we can, in fact, load it. Mod found state unloaded. All right, you make me, there's a lot of references there. Let's go find only where it's written to it. No rights, that's my least favorite. Okay, so that's now when it's time to go switch over to the source code for multimod and go find that. Really? Which one is it? It's right in mod. Resource soliciting resource. All right. So one more time over here. It's that one. Okay. Is that the only setter for it? Let's see what we got. That's the only setter. So load state dot load state. So wait, what's this? This one is not set either. Okay, are you created somewhere? Unload. Load coroutine. And async. This feels like it's one of these two calls that's setting it.
It feels to me like, I mean, don't get me wrong, we're looking around the load state code. I'm wondering what's going to kick this off in the first place. I feel like maybe there's a set of mods that's being iterated and should be, each of them told, go load, which will then have this natural sort of internal change of state when it has loaded. But it's kind of the instigator that's missing. We're not telling it to load, perhaps.
Yeah, that's kind
of
what I'm trying to figure it out.
Do we iterate through the mods?
If resource can load, this one's interesting.
Okay, yeah, that's...
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to look for it. Is what I'm trying to do. Genescu7 says someday when pudding was we had pudding from galaxy far, far away. Yeah, that might have happened. Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to find. And one of the clues I felt, one of the things that was interesting was the can load piece.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's go see. It's there. Load is true. Load state. That's weird.
Strange.
Would you agree with that's a weird bit
Yeah,
of code?
that's very strange. You can load it if it's loaded. That's how I read that.
False if this scene's mod load is not loaded. Well, that's kind of what they've done that.
It feels like maybe a bad naming convention. So maybe it's supposed to be can use. So you can use it if it's loaded.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on it. I thought this was going to be like easy to find, and now I'm just not feeling that anymore on here. Let's review the code a little bit as we go through here, because I just so that you can see what we're dealing with here. we're creating this mod manager right here.
Yep.
Let's give that a better name. And this is code that I took out of the original multi-mod and how they're loading things up. And then we're hooking up basically these events here. Mods changed, mod found, mod loaded, and load canceled. Dude, load canceled. We should check to see if that.
There is a very direct call to load a little bit higher up. And I wonder if something goes wrong in that.
Wouldn't it be sweet if that was right here? That's what I was hoping it was going to be there. Let's go look for that. Dot load. Something like... Yeah.
There. So that's the attempt to load a mod, I guess, on the back of it being found. Is that in? It is in a try catch. So what happens if that gets caught?
Well,
that's our message box, a message box. So we weren't seeing that.
Yeah. So when we see mod found, so let's look at that inside of here. Mod found. Let's go find mod found. So we find core spells first, and we iterate through its prefabs. That's right. Then we find DH top down. We iterate through it.
What's the -0 after mod found to the DH top down? One's a Unity log, one's your log. I suppose they're not necessarily the same.
Is that what it is? Yeah, it's a Unity log. Yeah. I don't know what that is.
Okay.
This is likely coming from it's likely coming from the multi-mod source. So somewhere in here they've got that. If we do a search for mod found : I think we'll find it. We'll find it here in this solution. It is content type.
Ooh.
Scenes asset code, it was 0.
Thinks there's none of the above. What's the number when we've got our own successful one?
It's same 0 though.
Okay.
So that's not the clue we're looking for. All right. Mod loaded. DH top down. State unloaded. This is, I think this is like, oh wait, is that it? Is that right, what we're missing? Where's my mod loaded?
So we're initially unloaded, and then there's a state loading.
Yeah, so the one that works has a state of loading, and this mod loaded has a state of unloaded.
But the first time we find the one that does work, it is also unloaded. It's a little higher again.
Did I miss that?
So there's the loading on sort of, yeah, there we go. So that's the initial unloaded, the same as what we've seen. Then a little lower down, just after the list of prefabs, that's when it turns to loading.
I see.
And this is for core spells, which is the one that does function for us.
So there's unloaded, and do we have another one for DH top down? Yeah.
We do have another one, but it's unloaded still.
Yeah. What's
so
interesting?
This is after checking resources. Well, we don't have that.
Yeah, that might be theirs though. Checking resources.
Yeah.
Let's go see if it's theirs. It is theirs. So we would have seen one of these errors.
Yeah.
Check resources. So they're all good. There's not really any code that's happening here other than is valid. If is valid was set to false, is this valid by chance not set to true? So we set it to true here, then we call check resources, somewhere between here and here. All right, so let's exit TaleSpire. I kind of want to get some more debug details in this space right here, is what I think I want to do. Like that. This creates a new mod. Where's the load call in here? What's going on with load? Maybe I'm going to put more. Should load resources. So loading mod.
There's no loading mod for the second one.
You're correct.
So that phrase is issued.
So nobody's calling load resources. Okay. Okay, we're just going to get this. Whoops. What do I have? What available logging do I have here? Anything? Nothing from resource? No logging? It's making me work hard. Well, I got debug.log. Is that going to work for me? Really? You're just doing this right over the line of code I want to write to? Dot log that. Put this in. Okay, that's kind of what I want. Well, we definitely saw it was the synchronous one call. That's what gets us here. So those two calls are now protected. This is the one that's coming in. Who's calling this? There's no question about whether that's called or not, and that's it, right? So it's load coroutine, only called from this load. Load resources. Wait, are we back in a circle? Did we go in a complete? It must be. There must be a virtual chain here. We're kind of in circles. We're back in load resources right up in here.
Yeah.
In other words, this seems to be called from here. Possible. Load state is equals resource load state canceling. Then let's load. On load resumed. Let's just document that we're coming in here. Only from onload resume that's called right there. I feel like I've lost the chain.
Yeah. It's
working my way out of this.
It is very abstract in its nature.
Yeah, let's look at one more time. Yeah, we've got this call here. Yeah, it's an override is what it is. Okay. Local routine. And then we're back in. A little bit strange. And then that's the only other call. Okay, you know why it's the only other call? Because we're also calling it from the other project, the other solution.
Okay.
Let's rebuild this.
Unfortunately, Mark, I'm not going to be able to see the result of this particular build,
right,
as I do have to disappear.
Take it
Sad
easy.
but true. We'll catch you the same time tomorrow, though.
Thanks, Roy. You know what? I don't know if you know this or not, but he's awesome. Roy's awesome. See you tomorrow.
All right, buddy. See you then.
All right, bye. Thanks everybody for being with us. Trying to hack into TaleSpire right now. Roy just left us. He'll be back tomorrow with us again. Roy's with us 3 days a week, helping us out writing code. You guys are out here helping us writing code too, right? You're going to help me out because I need all the help I can get today. Let's see what we got here. Back over in this space. I think I hit the copy DLLs button. I think I did. I'm going to do it one more time just in case. And we should we should have new DLLs. Yep, all 1156 right there. So those are all the new DLLs with that new code in there. I think we just need to do a rebuild over here. So we find the mod, we load the mod. Unloaded, there's another loaded we hook up to, I think. Interesting. I wonder if their startup prefab is actually not null. Nope, because if it were the case, we'd see a message box that would say prefab is good, and we haven't seen that message box yet. So yeah, we are not getting into here. Let's clear that. All right, rebuild. Start TaleSpire. We call him True Carry Rory. What you talking about? Put him. All right, let's do the log. Can load is false. I think that's our problem right there. It does find all the prefabs though. The prefabs are there. We're like really close. I'm not sure why this is the case. I'm guessing it's maybe a limitation on like a hard-coded limitation somewhere in there. It says, oh, there's only one of these files we're allowed to load. That's my guess. I'm gonna go figure out why we can't load it. Back over to multi-mod source. Resource.load. We need the call stack here, I think. How do I get the call stack out to the debug? I forget. Is that really the approach I want to take on here? Do I want to look at see why can load is false? It's virtual. Conflicting mods loaded. It's not allowing more than one, or wait. Any don't have a state that is unloaded. This is what's blocking us. Let's just see what happens with that. My sense is that's my gut feel based on this. I don't think it's valid. This seems logically like it's blocking us. And I'm kind of like, wait, why is this here? Why not allow them to be there? Alternatively, there's another way of thinking about this. Let's just see how bad things get if we do this. We'll do this as a temp build right here. So let's build that. Let's copy those DLLs out. One got updated. Just in case we'll rebuild this. Done. And go. So now we've essentially changed multi-mod so that multi-mod allows more than one assembly to be loaded. And we're going to see if that breaks things down. That was there to protect us. Look at that. I think that kind of brute force mechanism there, just saying, yeah, we can load it, just may have fixed it. Let's see how bad things get. I swear that TaleSpire theme is from Bard's Tale 4. Really? All right, so let's say, we're going to say fire medium, I think is what it's called. Turn that effect on. Medium fire. There it is. All right, so that still works. We've got also the fire ring. That still works. Now, the question is that could look good. No, I'm not sure what that is. Let's see if we can conjure a lava pool. Here you go, kids. Nice. Nice. All right, so we have successfully brought in effects from a third-party library into TaleSpire. That's awesome. Let's get some players on there so we can see the players. Yay! Yay, 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 yay. Let's look at some of the other effects here. Laser cannon barrage. Some of these don't really make sense for D&D, but you know, we can tweak them. Let's go. Sound effects that need to be added as well. But it's pretty cool. Pretty cool being able to create these effects in here. I think I got a list of them all up here. This one I like. Oops, let's get TaleSpire so we can see it. This one's cool. Cool effect, huh? All right, I think that's going to be it. I'm going to end the show there. We managed to get some success. We got that out there. Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to get a raid going up here. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us today. We'll send you over to someone else is going to take care of you. What do we got? Send me out over to Obother. My favorite hardware coders out there. Thanks for joining us. Tomorrow we'll continue this. We're going to work on the modular TaleSpire system where we're going to be combining spell effects together. That's what we're going to do. Thanks again for hanging out, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day, everybody.